Thank you, our beloved MC. Selamat siang, Bapak, Ibu. Sudah makan? Thank you so much for your time. So, actually, this session will talk about retail media, but also the launch of RMNIL console. So, as we know, retail media is the fastest growing media channel in the world, and Indonesia is actually one of the sharpest growth compared to other countries. E-commerce in our country here hit 75 billion US dollar in 2024, and we are on track to cross 100 billion US dollar by the end of this year, with 76% of transaction happening on mobile and live commerce driving up 7 times sales lift. And also the retail media network ad spend in Indonesia projected to grow almost 3 times from 2023 to 2030. Nearly twice the global average. So where the first party data meets purchase behavior, the ability to influence and convert at the moment of intent has never been more precise. That is the opportunity that we will talk about today, about what are the openings, what are the breakthroughs, and what is already working in the ground. But also, we are honored enough that this session is also introducing the Retail Media Network Ideas Lab, for short RMNIL, a living laboratory for retail innovation leaderships established by MMA APAC. RMNIL is, yes, please give a round of applause of new form RMNIL Council in the country. So RMNIL is actually a test bed where retailers, brands, agencies, and tech partners experiment, learn, build the benchmark, build the frameworks, and also measurement standards in Indonesia. It runs on 4 pillars. Number 1 is innovation and measurement, knowledge sharing, industry vision, and thought leadership, and last but not least, governance, standards, and collaboration. RMNIL is officially announced and launched today at MMA Marketing Talk 2026, and all the leaders that are sharing the stage with me is actually the founding members of RMN Council. So welcome my panels and my council member. Please give a big round of applause for RMNIL and these amazing 3 panelists. I would like to begin the session with setting a context, finding the relevance. I guess my first question goes to Bapak Kani as a FMCG leader. Retail media shoppers at the exact moment of intent across e-commerce, social commerce, and now also offline aisle. What do you think retail media move from tactical, strategic to evergreen growth engine for a brand like Mayora? And where do you see the single biggest unlock across the funnel so far?
Yeah, thank you, Mbak Dewanda. So allow me to start the statement with some controversial statement. Yeah. Despite we talking about retail media, frankly speaking, we are not using this retail online as source of our sales. Yeah. So it's not for conversion. Unfortunately for our industry, it's less than 5%. So that's not our priority. But we are using this channel, this retail media, is to build what we call a social proof. For so many times, FGD after FGD, when I'm talk about FMCG, especially instant food or instant noodle in my case, people always saying when we ask why you are not trying the product yet, they keep saying that no one tell me yet, no one review it yet, so I not believe why I have to try this product. Yeah, that's why this retail media, on top of the TVC still needed. The TVC still needed because it brings some awareness, some introduction to the product. But then people will try only when his friend or her friend or the family talking about it.
Or my case is my cousin.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, once it talking about it, telling it's a good, then it will become a social proof. Yeah, and then when the e-commerce saying, oh, the purchase already more than 2,000, 3,000, then it's a social proof. Then it will bring the sales of the offline itself. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, we are not saying retail media is not important. I'm saying it's not important for sales, but for online sales, but it's important for the offline sales. Yeah. We are used to not believe with the retail media or digital, yeah. But then, we try at one time that we are only doing this retail media investment without the TVC. Yeah, so the data I show here is the comparison between many brands in the last 2 years, the launches. While many brands are using the TVC, in the first 6 months, we are only using this retail media or digital. And the impact is really powerful. Initially, we are doing that not because we are believe, but because our distribution is limited. Only Jakarta, then East Java, West Java, and so on, other island. Because digital can do the targeting, right? But eventually, without the TVC, the sales is even reaching more than the TV itself. So that's why we start to believe and invest more in the retail media itself. So that the quick answer is why we are now moving it more strategic, simply because consumer is changing and the impact is very, very tangible.
And when you say social proof, meaning like review, in-platform detail video or written review in general, right?
Yes, and believe or not, in one of the retail media content, the content is not important. The most important is the comment. Yeah. Once the comment people, oh, I try and it's good. Oh, I try and it's wonderful. Then that the social proof is coming. Yeah, that's why we really important, because people believe not what we saying, but what other people saying.
Yes.
And the retail media help us on that.
So tell me, from this chart, are you telling us that the retail media investment started on month four, or still
No,
started
it's from
month
beginning. So this is the 12 months since the beginning of the product launch. Yeah, so we investing in the first 6 months only in digital and retail media without the TVC. Yeah, and compare with other brands who are starting from the TVC, our impact is much, much higher.
Okay. A bit controversial, I agree.
Yeah.
Moving to Ibu Risha from Paragon. Ibu, Paragon's brands exist and success where content creator and commerce converge. How is retail media changing the way you turn first-party purchase signals into both awareness and conversion?
So first, I think I would like to take it in a broader context. It's actually beyond awareness and conversion. Now, the thing is, our old view was always seeing retail media as a media. As a result, when you are seeing search, traffic, click, you will only have two objectives. The first one would be how to increase your GMV. The second one, how to optimize your return. Imagine if you're using that lens, if a potential product, but still emerging in the market, but the ROAS is poor, you might come into the decision that I'm not gonna make this category big. So this lens, it gives many limitations to make a big business strategy decision. So with that, I think what is the most important is that with the emergence of social commerce, we now have abundance of data and we can connect it one to another. Like what has been said before, comment, it's an abundance of insight. Imagine when you go through a comment, it could give you an indications of the underserved needs of the category. So even comment is a strategic insight for innovations. That's one. Second, if you look towards the transaction data, through what product the person first purchased, what is the second product, what kind of AOV, you could actually make a customized CRM journey for different cluster of shopper. So with that, we need to change our lens by seeing it only as media, but seeing it as a business intelligence. So retail media, it's not the end of marketing where we are putting advertisement, but retail media, it's the starting of business intelligence.
And that helps you to take an actionable
Yes,
action,
a lot.
right?
Yeah.
To perhaps extend one of the campaigns or stop one of the campaign. We back on the stage, we discovered that apparently not so many brands exist more than X months, but there are so many brands that can exist for years. So that decision was created by you are looking for beyond ROAS and beyond GMV. You're looking about view, you're looking about comments, you're looking about even metrics like video. So all of that help you to decide.
Yes.
Menarik, oke. To Bapak Data, AI and Data, Pak Rifki from Accenture.
Siap.
So from data and AI standpoint, what makes retail media's first party data unique? And why is it so valuable? And what is the one capability that we can build as a brand owners in Indonesia?
So thank you, Dewanda. So the idea of harnessing data for advertising Actually, it's been started like around 10 years ago. It was started with telco by building telco media networks. Now we talk about retail by retail media networks. And now, actually, in the last 2 years, we also observed there's can you go back? Yeah, this one. There's also another trend coming from finance, which is finance media networks, and perhaps this is also going to be the expansion of our council. The reason why these data owners are turning their data into advertising, because they do believe that there is a value that can be provided on top of the walled gardens. Because they are retail sitting in a gold mine, because they have the granularity of the behavior purchase data offline and at scale, which is cannot be provided fully by walled gardens. That's why the data is very unique, and they are also able to provide closed loop measurement. So imagine that the massive data owned by retailers can be activated not only in some one channels, but also can be in other channels. But having a data itself is not enough. You need to have a better propensity modeling, because I understand that you have deterministic data, but imagine you need to identify that the user's buying behavior is monthly grocery buyers, weekly grocery buyers, and there's some of users that are ready to purchase those kind of specific product in the next 3 years. That will help marketers to generate a better performance in terms of conversion. That's why AI can help you to identify the users to win the momentum-based propensity modeling. And secondly, we also observe there is also 2 challenges that we would like to address. First, that sales attributions mostly heavily happen offline. That's why currently brands are using voucher model to measure the attributions to purchase, right? Then the second challenge will be that the channel reach that is limited to on-site and only in specific channels. So what we have in mind is, if the data by creating a persistent ID, it can help to push the data off-site. And imagine that you can make the audience larger, even bigger in other kind of channels, open internet, OTT platforms, walled gardens or hygiene platforms. And then you can measure the transactions by making checking from the persistent ID to the purchase offline. That's also something that most awaited by of CPG clients. And also lastly, there's also what will be the futures of RMN. I know that we just start, but I think I would like also to highlight what will be the futures. The rise of agentic and AI, it also will help the role of RMN. It will be expanding from RMN to RIN. So we just started, but we also need to understand that intelligence is going to be there. So by having a strong strategy in RMN will best position you in the customer and also in the brands, because later on you need to win the attention of the users, not only coming from utilizing LLM as discovery, but also imagine that they will come to your apps, they will discuss with you, please recommend me the best soap for dry skin, and then you will have a conversation with the apps owner and with the users. That's why it will going to be working alongside with intelligence, RMN and RIN later on in the futures.
For me, it will be a great future if we have that first-party data utilized, not
Yes.
only one channel, not only on-site channel,
Yeah.
but extended to all channel, basically. Okay, thank you, Pak. I'm coming back to Pak Kani. I would love to hear more detail about Wow Spaghetti, the one that you showed earlier. What metrics did you measure back then on the campaign, and what made it work so well?
Okay, Mbak Dewanda, can help to show
The
the
slides, please.
Okay, I'm in the first session, I forget to explain the context. Yeah. So Mayora just launched instant spaghetti, so include the seasoning there. It's quite alien for Indonesian because we are instant noodle user, right? But so at that time, lot of doubt, lot of uncertainty, and there is already incumbent, which is the name is here. I no need to mention. At that time, it's quite small. Yeah. Then because we are not certain and the product also not certain, so we start small by using digital, only certain specific location. So surprisingly, show you in the first I think the first 6 months, yeah, we only doing the digital, and the sales is going up. So I showing this slide just to build a credibility that it actually works. Yeah. Of course, then the TVC boosts the campaign itself. Yeah. because it will complement each other. As I'm saying, TVC for awareness and the digital for social proof. When the TVC running, the digital even running more. Yeah, so with the equal budget. So you can imagine how much it's important for us. Yeah, this is the idea at that time. Hopefully, okay. So the idea is the most important in this retail media and also digital is not how much we are spent. Of course, how much we are spent is important, but it's not the most important. It's the idea. Yeah, like for example, we are building this pop-up booth. Maybe we built it in Block M. Initially, our expectation is less lah. But then after 3-4 days, we built in the retail media. Then the queue is there. Everyone is talking about it. Because now the instant spaghetti, you have a very big, very luxury restaurant in the middle of Block M. So people talking about it. But the most important we have to find, the idea is actually is to bring the handsome Chef Bule. Yeah, actually.
That's the hook ya Pak?
Yeah, that's the hook. Yeah, so I would say not our product lah. I'm the second lah. The first one is people come because they want to take a picture for their Instagram for this Chef Bule. Yeah, we thought it's very handsome. It coming from Italy, even though it's not. Yeah, it can speak bahasa actually, but we are not allow him to do it. So it looks like this is the things that become talkable, and of course the product itself bring it more life. And the most important, we should have the pipeline of idea. Yeah, if on the TVC usually every 3 months, every quarter, then in the digital, initially we move every 2 weeks. We should have the new idea for digital. Because in digital, people easy to board, right? Gen Alpha, Gen Z, it should be within 2 weeks. Even though, honestly, I have to admit, we are not strong enough to build after 2 weeks, then every month. So every month after the pop-up resto, we build the scarcity campaign, and then we make spaghetti war, people looking for the spaghetti. By design, we make some store is empty, the product, so that they keep fighting each other to get the product. And then finally, we launch, we cannot fulfill all your the demand to make you fight each other. So when we think about this campaign, we should think about 2 or 3 campaign ahead, because there is a time to brief the KOL, to make the clipper and everything. Yeah. I promise this is the last slide. So the most important is we can see without the TVC, the awareness of the wow spaghetti itself reached 76%. And if you look the data on the right, most of coming beside the store, of course, is the digital. Yeah, the TVC is almost zero because every time we ask the people, where do you know? Almost TVC. But this time is digital. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to touch lightly about the ideas. You mentioned that every 2 weeks or every 1 month you generate a new idea. One idea, like how many contents that we are talking about in Wow Spaghetti campaign, Pak?
Yeah, so it's almost thousands, 2,000 to 3,000 contents that we generate. Yeah, and we not using buzzer for the comment. We want the comment as organic as possible because that's our social proof. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 2,000, 3,000 videos per month, and then recycle the ideas every month.
Yes, not recycle. Sometimes is even making brand new.
Must be very exhaustive work for your team.
Exactly. That's why we keep moving 1 month. Yeah, hopefully later become 2 months or 3 months lah. Yeah, so people not easy to board.
Yeah. Okay. I'll move over to Ibu Risha. Ibu Risha, give us one Paragon campaign example where retail media was the main trigger back then, and what did move, and what's work and what's not so far. Team, can I have the slides, please? Yes.
Okay. Now, I think the first principles is that we need to understand the world that we are operating today. Back in the day, at least my time, we have TV, print, and a handful of social media. But nowadays, it's getting more and more fragmented. Like, platforms are many. For example, Discord is being used by Gen Alpha, particularly for gaming. And then Threads, somehow attracting millennial. It's becoming a communal spaces for conversations. Maybe back in the day, kalau tahu, Kaskus gitu ya, era sekarang. Nah, so what we see is that as the many platforms are emerging, what happened is that there is a cultural bubbles. Back in the day, we might can use like just one celebrity and it's very famous, and then people will look upon to the celebrity, and everyone wants to be them, and therefore using the product that the celebrity is doing. Now we cannot do that. With the many cultural bubbles, there are many popular people that I don't know, but everybody in the niche knows and influenced it very strongly by this person. So in this era, what we see as the success story of what Paragon have is always by having many stories that is contextual to the touch point, whether the touch point is the community, creator, channel, but always the anchor of the promise is one. The promise of the brand is one. The promise of the product is one. So with that, we always put it many story, but rooted into one anchor.
Yeah, when we put this into perspective, like we were talking about CAF, so it's no longer one celebrity for CAF for all platform. You have like sub messages in sub platform in sub communities like Discord, what communities?
Yes.
Pengajian, bapak-bapak
Yeah.
pengajian also different.
Yes.
Message from Discord gamer versus pengajian people cannot be the same, but the brand value needs to be the same,
Yeah,
right?
because maybe imagine, Cuff is a male grooming brand. So male is having a lot of spectrum. We're talking from alpha, millennial, or even more than millennial. And if we like seeing in the total passion point, the people that like to do high rocks is a different types of person who likes to do run. And different type of person of Gen Alpha that likes to do gaming. Imagine Cuff talking in the same way, in the same message, will never be resonate with them.
Will never be resonate. Yes, that's true. Pak Ani, sadly I need to skip you in this section. I'll come back to you with more time because their operator has queued me over and over again. All right. Okay, so I'll come back to Pak Ani and Bu Risha lagi. So this time around is about owning the visibility. So Indonesia is unique, right? We have 30% modern trade, we have social commerce that search and dominant now, we have a large SMB landscape base, and now we are a almost mobile first shopper. What is the one suggestion or one move brands that should they make in the next 12 months? From Pak Ani first.
Yeah, idea. Yeah, spending media, you put views can be bought, but thinking about idea who can moving the needle, that's I think the one things that every marketer should really focus on. Yeah.
Kreatif ya, oke. Kalau Bu Risha?
So from my end, I think it's not one but three. So bonus too.
Bonus, okay.
Bonus. So the first one would be have many stories because we are living in a cultural bubbles, but always anchor to what is true to your brand. So many stories, but one promise. That's the first. Now, secondly, it's about moving by
Mas
seeing
Angga,
media.
slides, maaf.
Ms. Dewanda, my apologies. We only have 30 more seconds.
Sorry, yes.
So secondly would be on changing the view of media as a media channel because it's actually a real-time learning. Doing study takes months, iterations take days. So do iterations. The third point would be with the abundance data that we now have, this is no longer something human can manage. So clearly we need like the use of AI to scale up the insight into an actionable strategy for the brand.
Agree. 20 seconds to Pak Rifki ya, Pak. Ini cerdas cermat nih kayaknya nih. SRM-NIL builds a shared benchmark and measurement for Indonesia. What would be a strong and common measurement standards for us?
If the data can be activated and with persistent ID and you can measure the transaction offline, imagine within one media plan, you will have the visibility on share of expenditure, share of voice, your brand health study, and then lastly, you will be able to measure the share of wallet. This is what we are doing in Italy. We orchestrate and help one of the biggest Italy's retailers and connect with all the technologies required, and also working with stores, loyalty data, and also working collaboratively with agencies and brands to help to accommodate all the metrics required, all the kind of media buys required. So at the end of the day, this is kind of the harmony that we wanted to build for Indonesia and to address all the needs for the stakeholders, brands, agencies, retailers, and even the customer itself.
Thank you. So for RMNIL specific, we're done talking about your insight, which by the way, super awesome. So since we are now launching RMNIL, what would be your one-off advice for brand owners, for future comers, and what role that RMN Council should take in this space? Three of the panels, yes.
Yeah, I think we should focus on not only skew to conversion in the retail media, but also how to connect it to the sales in the offline, so that it's also suitable for the industry like FMCG, who are already well distributed and low value. Yeah.
Panel, my apologies, time is up. We are going to go for a photo session.
Yes, okay.